Hi everyone, Sue Matsuki. Welcome to Sue's Views. Today I'm going to do something that I used to do when I was writing Sue's Views back in the day. I wrote a column one time about called Pet Peeves or a Blind Review. And a blind review was simply a bunch of things that a bunch of people did in a bunch of shows that I had seen, that when I was reviewing, I didn't want to write anything negative about their shows because their shows were very good, but these were just kind of helpful, constructive comments. And, the person will know or see themselves in the comment or not, and will either apply it or not apply it, but this way no one gets hurt. If the show was good and the review was overall good, why should I write something negative if I really didn't have to, just for the sake of, oh, and here's my constructive comment, which we know a lot of people do. Anyway, so the shows that I've just talked about above, in each of these shows there was something that stood out to me, even though each of those shows were spectacularly wonderful. In one of the shows, I really thought the person needed a director. And I say this because, and there was a lot of Cabaret 101 mistakes made in terms of the flow of the show, in terms of the musical director knowing when to come in out of the patter. So there were kind of like a lot of, not deer in the headlight moments, but a lot of moments that could have been smoothed over for an overall smoother performance. So if you're new to town, if you don't really know what cabaret is, go to a couple shows, see what you think about those shows, and then look at who directed those shows and maybe meet with that person and see if there's something that you'd like to collaborate with them on. It's no shame. We all have directors, or at least someone outside of ourselves that can look at the product and give us an opinion on what's playing and what's not playing. Maybe some songs are more connected to, maybe other songs aren't. Another thing that I noticed in the shows that I just discussed was the concept of patter. Now, a lot of people do patter in different ways. They will cluster 3 or 4 songs and they'll talk about what those 3 or 4 songs, the journey, is going to be. We love that word, journey, in cabaret. It just simply means how to get from song 1 to song 4, but it's a journey. So a lot of times we'll set up a 4-song cluster because the words of the song will perpetuate, the story moving forward. Sometimes people talk between every single song. That can create a very long show, which means you looking at more like 12 or 13 songs if you're going to talk in between each of them versus 14 or 15 if you wanted to consolidate a little bit more. There's the type of patter where you're talking and then you sing and then you have your band underscore and then you talk more and then you sing, and it could be the same song broken up with a little bit of patter that moves forward, or it could be a segue from one song to another with patter that brings you to the next song. This is what I want to talk about. One of the shows above that I loved used the third concept where there was a lot of talking to move the songs forward. They did it brilliantly, and it was really well done as you can do it, but as an audience member, I'm like, finish a song. And I was getting kind of annoyed at the choppiness of the flow of the show, and that no one song was just unto itself and finished. So look at the big picture and consider that as an option for future shows. Again, nothing was wrong with it, but me as an audience member, as a savvy audience member, I wanted at least a few songs that stood on their own and were the full rendition of the song. Another minor issue that came up was coming in with the band correctly. A lot of times, our musicians here in New York are beyond fantastic, and no matter what you do, they will have your back and they will find you. But it really is our job in rehearsal to know where that entrance is. Is it directly on the first note? Is it on one? Is it back phrased? Everyone on your stage has to know what that is so that there's not a lot of this going on. looking like, am I coming in? Or it's kind of like double Dutch rope where you're kind of looking when to jump in. Those have to be firm and solid. Make sure that those happen. Otherwise, it's distracting to the audience, and we're wondering, are they making a mistake or not? That type of thing. So, of all the terrificness that happened in the shows that I just discussed above, a couple of minor things to consider going forward. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. The shows were all spectacular. And as you'll see in a subsequent Sue's Views, always be authentic. Always be authentic. You don't have to be big Vegas voice all the time. We want highs and lows. We want that color in your voice. Why do I want to hear a show that has the same song and the same volume and the same meaning 14 times? Use the stage to show us everything you can do. That would be my best advice for everyone. All right, guys. Till next time, take care. Have a great day.